Well, Jane's heading up there. It's about 10:20. We're getting out late. Jane didn't feel well. It's very cold last night. I think the predicted low is 27. I don't know what it was. I didn't put my thermometer out. Stopped to take a little picture of the scenery. Of course, the ice in the path and the stuff that was wet was now ice. We got about 12 miles to go. Probably be hiking in the dark. See how much we take videos. Maybe we'll talk to you guys later. Someone's changing out our gears. We're doing snacks. I don't think you can see much this way. It's turning into a pretty day. Still patches of ice. Slushy, then icy, then watery. But we're not getting pelted by ice as much, and that is really, really nice. Don't need water right now, but it sure is pretty. A bit icy. In places a bit bad if you go down. But pretty. Ooh, that was right behind me. I don't know if you heard that thud. We still occasionally have large chunks of ice falling down. Large chunks. Anywhere from something maybe half the size of your hand to something the size of a grapefruit. And they're fun. Hit you on the head. Yesterday we had a few of them wrap me. Kind of remind me of having an older brother wrap you on the head with the knuckles. For those that have had the experience. Well, I don't know how far in we are. I think we're getting on close to the top, or maybe at least within the final third of our last hill. And maybe at a water source. We need water. Somewhere out there, you can see, not very well, but there is a view. We can actually see out. Yes, there's a little bit of ice on these trees. You can see it's still rhyming it, but we have a view. This has been rare out here in the Smokies. Loving it.
We just came from that mountain right there with the snow and frost on it. Beautiful.
This must be the heliport.
I think this is the heliport.
Oh, we're happy to see we're under 4 miles, at least per the sign for Cosby Knob. Cross trail this way for Snake Dam Bridge, Madrone Bald, Cosby Campground. And here we have a wild Susan, fresh from Switzerland.
I will attack you and steal your treats.
Gliding down the hill. Svelte, suave, glib. I may not survive. Well, it's been a surprisingly hard day. Don't know why. Maybe it's ice changes in temperature, but we've come down to a lower elevation. We're at Cosby Knob Shelter. Walking in on the Blue Blaze Trail. We will have to do all of our usual chores of finding where we're going to call home for the night and setting up, hopefully with a tent. I'd rather not stay in the shelter. And yeah, grab food and all that other fun stuff. But this will be the end of a pretty good stretch. I don't know how many miles we did. I'll have to look that up. I'm sure Jane will add it in later. It's over 12. I think on top of that, then we've got the 0.4 miles we had to go into to the shelter that we slept at last night. But looks like we are home. Getting dark in here. Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of a wrap up for today. It was very cold to begin and wet. Mm-hmm. A lot of ice, but not nearly as cold as yesterday at the end of the day. It got quite warm. I don't know what temperature it actually got to, but it was pretty warm. It's getting cold again. I believe it's supposed to be in the 20s again tonight, but I don't know how much because we don't have cell phone reception and haven't looked it up for this location. Jane started out getting a little lightheaded and nauseous in the morning, so we started out a little late, but We managed to make it 12.9 miles, according to Gut Hooks, to this shelter. What is it called? From Pex to... Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we'll put it in the video.
Yes.
It's some shelter. And this one had a good tent space, so we're taking advantage of the tent spot. I really much prefer being in our tent unless it's really, really wet and stormy outside.
But this sets us up for tomorrow, because tomorrow we should be out of the Smokies. We turn our
Yep.
permit in.
Tomorrow we turn our permit in, and we don't know yet whether it's 8 or 10. We have to look ahead to see how that is. But and then our plan is, or our hope anyway, to Davenport Gap, see if we can get a shuttle and go to someplace where we can't do laundry. We do need to do some resupply, so we might need to think about what we need to do there. I don't know if there's a store. We have some looking to do. There is a hostel right at the end of this trail, but it doesn't have the best reputation. We might end up shopping a little bit into it for some resupply, because it's only about 3 more days to get into Hot Springs. So we're not going to zero. Hopefully we'll just go in, get some showers, wash up a bit, and then the next day be out on trail. It's supposed to be still sunny for the next day or two, and then some more rains come in.
But we'll be in lower elevation because we'll be out of the Smokies, so we don't have to worry about snow, freezing rain, ice.
Well, I don't know that we don't have to worry about it, but it's less likely.
Less likely.
And so one thing we didn't talk about yesterday was when we got into the shelter, about 2 miles before the shelter, there was a pack that was down again by the side of the trail. Didn't take any pictures of it because, a little odd. I mean, it had things like I don't know, maybe a 6-8 quart soup pot, like 10-inch rim, stainless steel type of thing you'd see in a restaurant. But yeah, backpack, just sitting with contents strewn off on the side. And then about 1.4 miles before we got to the shelter, there was another backpack. There's, some trash and, what was it, stakes for the tent.
Yeah, it's just
things like that were scattered elsewhere. But we didn't see any bodies, and other people had looked around as well to see if they saw anyone and called out. So we reported it to a trail runner. Apparently somebody else had already done that. But kind of disturbing when you're walking up, because you don't know. The night before was really stormy. That was when they closed the road to the gap. And so you don't know if somebody was hypothermic and they're starting to feel like they're warm and taking all their clothes off and died of exposure in the woods, or whether they thought that the best chance for them to get back to the gap, which was about maybe 10 miles away or so at that point, was to take everything off and make the mad dash through the woods at night. So it's a little odd.
It was really scary, and especially when the road was closed to the gap. So even if they got to the gap, they would hopefully be able to stay in the restrooms there, because I think they're heated.
Yeah.
Because there was no transportation that could take them the 15 miles into Gatlinburg. So it's really kind of scary.
Not sure how all that one worked out, but at any rate, I think we're about done for today. We are in bed. We are warm, and I think I'm about finished and ready to turn in. Anything else to say?
No. Good night.